So we've got a brand new launch of a brand new colorway. Well, kind of, even though we've seen them before, but it's new to us. And it's on these bad boys right here. This is the Nike LeBron 20. How many years too late? Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. And today we got a detailed look and breakdown on these bad boys right here. This is quite possibly my favorite LeBron sneaker within his signature line. Signature line meaning the numbered series. It's not my favorite LeBron overall. That still is the Soldier 3s, guys. With all of these bringbacks, how come those haven't been brought back? Those are beasts. But this is actually the colorway of the Nike LeBron 20 that we all saw debut, meaning the original colorway, our first look. They were on LeBron's feet in the Drew League, and then they never released. We even seen them on Bronny's feet during the NBA Summer League, and they still had never released. And we're all sitting here wondering like, bro, are the pink ones ever gonna come out? It's 2025. Half of me wants to be like, it's too little too late. However, I did buy a pair, so is it really? But then the other half of me is going to hijack today's question of the day at the end of the video. Now, before we deep dive into these bad boys, today's video is sponsored by the good folks over at NOBULL, and they wanted us to let you guys know all about the NOBULL Drive. The NOBULL Drive is touted as being the ultimate workout shoe, versatile enough for any type of workout. This hybrid style workout shoe balances the stability needed for strength training while utilizing a Pebax midsole for cushioning. And this Pebax midsole is useful for all of that cardio that you might be implementing into your daily workouts. The NOBULL Drive is offered in 3 different material options: Drive Mesh, which is a lightweight mesh build catering to ventilation and around the foot comfort; Drive Knit, which is a flexible performance knit that offers a sock-like feel; and coming very soon is this all-new Ripstop rendition, which offers an extremely lightweight build that is also durable while offering a supportive lockdown fit.
Excellent.
NOBULL believes this makes the Drive the most versatile workout shoe on the market. Again, versatile enough to take care of any workout. So if you change up your workouts but want one pair of stable and reliable shoes, you can trust that NOBULL will get the job done. And to top it all off, NOBULL is currently offering an exclusive discount, and it's very simple. You just use the promo code DRIVE50 and it'll save you $50 off your purchase of $125 or more. So if you're interested in trying the NOBULL Drive yourself, make sure that you click the link down below in our description box, or use the QR code that you see on the screen right here. Now, with all that being said, these guys released at least 2 years ago, right? Like, what number are we on? We're about to be on the 23, and this is the 20. So yeah, almost 3 years ago. It's crazy. They do come in the same exact style box. They are highlighted in pink this time, which I think is cool. The LeBron 20, I feel like, is probably one of the best of the LeBron line, at least when we're talking about the flagship stuff. Like, this was, I don't want to call it a game changer. It was just a very big shift. You know what I mean? Like a shift in, I guess you would call it like ethos or whatever, like when we're talking about like what you would expect from a LeBron signature shoe, where most of the time you expect everything. You expect the whole kitchen sink, you know what I mean? Like, you want all the tech, you want all the different materials, all of it. Like, it's all gonna be in there, and they're gonna charge you for it too. So it all better be in there. Does that always equate to a great performance product? No. For some, yes, but for the majority, not really. And that's where this guy came in. This kind of brought things back down to reality and like made a shoe for almost everyone. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people called these a Kobe knockoff or a Kobe ripoff, to which I'm like, bro, like, really? You know what I mean? There are Kobe knockoffs and ripoffs, like say the Sabrina line, where they literally look like the f***ing Kobe's. But this is just Nike doing what Nike does. You know what I mean? Like, they had an engineered textile build, they had Nike tech in it, and they're low tops. That doesn't make them a Kobe, it's just a basketball shoe. But what it was a basketball shoe for almost everyone, unlike the other LeBrons, like say the LeBron before this, the LeBron 19s, those things were f***ing crazy, okay? Like, that was so much f***ing air. Nobody needed that much. Although I'm sure that there are people that love it. And for those of you guys that do, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that this was for everyone else. Like, it felt like the LeBron line went so crazy, and then this one was like, bro, bring it down a little bit. People actually want to buy these and wear these, so let's give them something. That something was some incredible traction. This stuff works great on any court, indoors or outdoors, dust or not, and I absolutely loved it. The midsole is Cushlon, which is fantastic. It's one of my favorite foams from the Nike brand. And then housed within that Cushlon is a 4-foot zoom turbo unit, along with a heel zoom air unit that is massively thick. There's also a carbon fiber midfoot shank. It's isolated to just the midfoot, doesn't extend into the forefoot area, so you got plenty of flexibility, which means that you have lots of mobility and there's no restriction on cushion or anything like that. So I mean, when we're talking about the tech, yes, it does sound a little bit like what a Kobe 5 Protro should have been, but either way, it's still a great shoe. And then the upper is this woven knit material along with the Nike Sphere lining inside the collar and everything. The Nike Sphere stuff originally was marketed as like moisture wicking and all of that stuff, but when you use it in the back of a shoe like this and the inside, that doesn't really make much sense. I had always thought that the little craters in there were meant to really cup and mold to your Achilles, your heel, and your ankle area. But when I was talking with Aaron Cooper, who helped design the original Nike Zoom generation, aka the LeBron 1, which also had the Nike Sphere material in the same exact location, he did confirm to us that that is the original intent of Nike Sphere. It's just that the marketing team got a hold of it and then they went and placed it on apparel and they took off with it and did what they did. So the Nike Sphere material is in the back of the shoe or in the collar and lining area of the shoe, simply to crater and mold around everybody's specific foot shape. So it's going to give you a nice custom-like fit the more that you wear it, which is essentially what the woven textile is going to do as well. And for those of you guys that are interested in grabbing a pair currently, they still do fit true to size. So whatever you typically wear, that is exactly what I would order. If you have a very thin or narrow foot, you could go down half a size and get away with it once they break in, but it will be very snug. And then most wide footers should be okay unless you're an excessive wide footer, like you got a really, really wide foot, then you may want to consider going up half a size or skipping these altogether, because when you go up half a size from your true size in a low top, you tend to get a little bit of flopping in the heel. So if you'd like to avoid that, find a shoe that actually fits you instead of forcing it to work. Now, when I got these in, again, my first thought was like, is it too little too late? Like, why the hell are they putting this out? Half of me wants to think that like this is a desperate move from Nike to please shareholders and get revenue up for a quarter. That way they can show it to them and be like, see, we're not up completely. And half of that might be actually true. But the other half of me kind of feels like, are we in a new era of footwear at this moment in time where, you know, when people ask me or just bring it up in general, like, hey, what is going to be like the newest, latest and greatest next best thing in innovation within footwear? Like, have we maxed out already? And the answer is, I'm not sure, but it feels like it, right? But is that necessarily a bad thing when we're talking about moving to zero and trying to save on resources and not waste energy and consumption and materials and labor and all of this other shit? Like, why are we as companies, and not literally we, but just why are companies forcing all of this new stuff to be put out? Because half the stuff that we see on a shelf right now, we're always like, why did Nike put that out there? Why did Jordan put that out there? Why did Adidas put that out there? Why is New Balance doing that? Like, it's one of those questions where, are people really buying and consuming that crap? Or is it just sitting and rotting on shelves and eventually going to an outlet? Which again makes me be like, are we shifting away from like everybody needing the newest of the new, like say the LeBron 23, even though we're all getting excited for it? And by all of us, I don't mean all of us, I'm just saying that as hyperbole. But again, it makes me wonder, like, we're so used to, at least this point in time, like buying retros, where we talked about in, I think it was the Air Jordan 10 Steels, right? Where like when that shoe originally came out in the mid 90s and they tried to put out retros, nobody was with retros. Like, they were like, no, what the we don't want the old, we want the new. Now all of us are used to buying the old instead of the new.
Watch your language.
Which makes me be like, should we even be pushing the new anymore? Like, what if this is the best LeBron? Like, why can't we just get this every year then in new colorways, fresh takes, maybe different makeups? You know how like the Wade brand does whatever the shoe is, and then there'll be like a 0.5 version or a V2, you know what I'm saying? Like with a strap or a high top collar or whatever the they're doing. Why don't we just do that with this instead of pushing to constantly put out new crap that people don't actually want, that is not better than the last? We were talking about that also with the Air Jordan 40, which is like the 39 was kind of a dud, and there were certain mistakes made while making that shoe. And you sit there and question, like, how did that even pass when they could have just held back a little bit, been a little bit late to the launch party, and came out with something as good as the 40 and not rushed the 39 into existence, you know what I mean? But they're constantly on this time crunch of like, no, we got to get out new stuff, we got to sell it to people, market it to people, and then hope that they all actually consume it blindly. And it's like, in today's world of footwear, when there's not a lot of new going on, why do we still feel the need to constantly put out new like why we talked about this with the Dames also. It took a long time to get the Dame 9s, and we see the Dame 10, which is a budget shoe purposefully, but it's very similar to the Dame 9, which means that not a lot of stuff has changed. You know what I mean? So like, why force that? Like, why not just be like, here's the 9 again, and we lowered the price because the 9 was so good. It was one of the best basketball shoes last year. So again, why can't we just slim things down, like trim the fat? You know what I mean? Obviously this would like reduce companies' output of product, which may hurt them in certain instances, but sometimes you save all of that revenue and expense and you end up gaining because now you're working smarter and not harder. Why can't we just let stuff marinate for a while until an actual good idea comes up and been like, hey, I got something great for the LeBron 22 or 23 or 24 or whatever. Like, why are we constantly forcing newest of the new, even though nobody's really wanting it? You know what I mean? The only stuff that people really buy right now are retro, and this is both casually and performance-wise, clearly. So yeah, why can't we just have a good line? Like, this is the LeBron, and it is great, so buy it. And we're gonna keep it on shelves for a few years until we can sit here and be like, you know what, I got a great idea for the next one, and leave it at that. I don't know if that was ever the original intent behind the signature line, because the original Air Jordan was just called the Air Jordan. It wasn't called the Air Jordan 1. The Air Jordan 2, when it came out, was the next Air Jordan. There was no number on the box. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't start doing that until Silver era, or the Silver Box era, and stuff like that. So like, it's just really interesting to think that we are so wrapped up in consumerism, like high quantity too. Like, this crazy, like the amount of numbers that they're making on this stuff, it's just wild, you know what I mean? And we're talking about every day there's footwear being dropped. Why can't you just put out something really, really good and let it sit for a little bit and let people consume it and enjoy it, like Hyperdunk? And there doesn't need to be a Hyperdunk 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, whatever, like just the Hyperdunk. It's good. It's our flagship shoe. And then we have these other people that are tied to their products, their signature products. And then we have our casual and retro stuff, and keep it simple instead of constantly having, like, do we know how many current Nike product numbers and SKUs are on shelves today, right now? Like, hundreds. And we're just talking about basketball. We're not even talking about the other categories. But feel free to sound off below and let me know your thoughts on all of this. I just thought that it was something that was interesting. It popped into my head as I was pulling these out of the box, and I was just like, I am glad to have a pair of these. I was actually looking at a used pair, not in this color, but just in a different one. But now I could buy a brand new pair and not have to worry about spending on a used pair because it's not really worth it. Like, my feet wasn't in there. You know what I mean? It's gross. So I want to play in them. So yeah, I'm glad to see these back. I wouldn't be mad if they dropped in more colors, again, because it's such a good shoe. So sound off below and let us know what you think in the comment section. And thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. We will catch y'all in the next one. So until then, you guys have a good one.